Love that flight.
Woo! Look at that ball speed though. You cranked that one.
I never get that.
Yeah.
I look down at this, I feel confident.
We're cranking now, Jack.
This is really fun. This is an awesome driver. Hey everyone, Titleist GTS products has now been released. We are out here at the awesome TPI. Today we are going to take the GTS drivers for a test run. We are going to be with Stephanie Luttrell. She is the Senior Director of Product for Metalwoods. She is going to give us all of the in-depth information we need to know about the GTS drivers, and I'm going to take them on a test run to demonstrate all the awesome tech that's in these brand new products. Let's jump into it. So Stephanie, thank you for being with us. GTS, it's a big launch. It sounds really cool. Give us the overarching story of what you're trying to achieve with GTS.
Well, our goal with every generation of Titleist Metalwoods is to think about how we can elevate all of the attributes that golfers care about from a performance perspective. So for GTS, it was really taking everything that players love about GT and amplifying it and bringing it up to the next level.
And what is the S got? What does it stand for?
Well, it stands for speed and stability. So GTS is that unlock that delivers both of what golfers want more of.
You've got a lot of materials to work with, maybe shapes, like we can get nerdy today. So
of course, I'm a golf nerd, right?
what unlocks the ability to do the speed and the stability?
Well, this product was absolutely a dream realized for us within our R&D team. It's something that we've been thinking about and working on for the past 8 years. Obviously, GT was our first development project and product that we brought forward using the PMP material. And we feel as though PMP gives us a huge competitive advantage. It's the first time it's been used in golf club head design, and being able to use it to leverage Titleist preferred sound and feel in a driver that's multi-material is something that sets us apart from the competition. But as we turned the page and we looked at how do we continue to evolve from GT to GTS, for engineers, it's all about discretionary mass. The more of it that we have to play with, the more we can use it to optimize center gravity positions, to deliver more inertia for stability, to bring new shapes for aerodynamics, and as well as to bring new performance and customization opportunities to really make the performance exactly what you need. And that's what we've been able to do, is to pull all of those levers of performance and bring them all up and really advance the performance of GTS.
Because Titleist has such a cult following, they have such an expectation of performance, but also of that visual and of that sound. So it's like, hey, we want it to look like this, but we want it to do everything that the future brings.
To your point, it is a huge challenge to us. Making a 360-degree seam with now how GTS is constructed with a full thermoform aft body and making that seamless, that's not easy. It required us to engineer a lot of new processes, but we think it's an important attribute of performance that players can set the driver down, can look at it with confidence. We want to start from a place of comfort, of confidence, of trust, and we want to build on that and really only deliver advancements beyond that.
We've got the same naming convention in numbers, right? So still 2, 3, and 4. How do you keep building on those options?
Well, it's a great attribute of our approach to design in that we're looking at all golfers in the spectrum of golfers and trying to better understand where they fall and what their specific performance needs are. And in light of that, we've identified that there's kind of 4 unique spots, and we have a 4 and a 3 and a 2 that are part of GTS. And in that, the 4 is positioned as that ultra low spin. We know that there are players that are going to need distance because they need spin reduction. And so being able to advance the performance of the 4, we'll kind of dive more into that, but it's an exciting product. And really, we've offered more custom fitting options and capability with that model to unlock performance for that player that needs spin reduction. And then you toggle to the 3, and that one has a slightly deeper CG than the 4, so that it achieves that mid trajectory, still low spin, but it has great precision CG fitting capability, and it comes in that classic tour preferred pair profile that so many players across global tours as well as at the amateur ranks have gamed a GT3. GTS3 still shares that profile, but we've got so much more under the hood that unlocks performance. And then you toggle to GTS2, and that's our most forgiving design. It's the deepest CG. We now have dual weighting in all of these models, so now we offer even more customization. We've never had CG adjustability in our 2 model, but we've been able to do it without compromise. So being able to deliver high MOI, but yet also offer more fitting capability within that model to unlock for those players that just need more forgiveness across the face or need a little bit more launch and spin out of their driver ball flight.
Yeah, well, I'd love to take them on a test run, and I think starting with the 2 is a great place. I think that's a big part of the golfing community that are like, maybe Titleist is seen as aspirational and they want a Titleist product, but they know that they need some forgiveness. I think we should do them some justice and show off what you've done.
Yeah, let's absolutely get it started. So, you know, as we mentioned, the 2, there's a lot that's going on here that's unique and different from what we had with GT2. I like to say in the standard setting, which is going to be set up with an 11 gram forward and a 5 gram back, that it's everything that a player loved about GT2, but elevated. It's faster because of aerodynamics, it's faster because of our new face design with a speed sync face, and it's higher MOI because of how we've been able to split the mass even more. So let's give it a run and see what you think.
Lovely.
How about that?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to set all these drivers up the same. This is the GTS2 9 degree, just set in the A1 position. As Stephanie said, we've got the 11 gram and the 5 gram. That's how it's going to come standard. And just for consistency, we've got the Ventus Blue 6X with the VeloCore Plus. Just keep everything the same so that at least we can see the ball flight changes are to do with the head product and not the shaft.
Great first swing.
Thanks. It's interesting. I tend to miss the golf ball to the right.
Okay.
I'm always looking for a little bit of forgiveness in that range.
Yeah.
The 2 seem to provide that. That was my little toe strike miss, and
it held in there on
its
that
line.
line. And I love your first initial observations from a shape perspective. You know, we've seen 2 usage grow significantly on our global tours with the advent of younger golfers that have always played larger footprint drivers. They're more accepting of a max forgiveness type of product, yet stylistically this one's very classic in terms of the way that we shape the toe. So it gives you a lot of confidence to be able to swing freely without worry and concern. Lovely. Is your typical shot shape that slight little baby fade?
On a good day,
Yeah.
it can be.
That's very controlled.
I like to see it move like that, and I like knowing that a product that is, you know, like you say, considered high forgiveness, still allows the ball to move around a bit. You know, I always think with knowledge of having, you know, now we've got the entire body made of this new material,
Yes.
that there might be some sound changes, but it's a Titleist product.
Well, and that's part of the beauty of the PMP material and the benefit that it gives us to tune the acoustics to make it sound really lively and metallic in nature.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is lost when people are using these carbon products. Everything gets really muted, and a lot of people like metallic sounding products.
Right.
It's a real standard of what I think of Titleist has been known for over its time. It's a metal wood.
Yes. Now even that one, I think you hit it a little off the toe, right?
I did, that's my
But did
my
you see
fault.
how it held? And typically you might have seen that one dive a little bit. So the beauty of this S2 model is the fact that because it's higher MOI, even in that standard configuration, just that toe ball hangs in there. And that's something we saw when we were kind of doing our initial product testing with Ludwig as well. That's his miss, is a toe hit, and he tends to see the spin drop and obviously then distance and it falls out of the air a little bit. But we could tell just straight away on that ball flight that it hung in there.
It's that quick left one that gets on the ground and runs is interesting.
Yeah.
So this is not the only setup that we can have this driver in.
Correct. How about we grab a wrench and we flip it into the other setup? This is the way that I actually have my GTS2 set up, and I have it back weighted. We'll leave it in A1 for you because that loft and that facing will look like it's set up quite well. Typically when we move the center of gravity back like this by aft weighting it, what you can expect to see is that you're going to present with a little bit more dynamic loft. It should generate a little bit more spin. So on that toe miss, it'll give you a little bit added protection and forgiveness, but it also significantly raises MOI. So MOI goes up about 200 points in both the high-low and the heel toe. So you get that added forgiveness and stability. So if you're that player that just has a tendency to have a little bit more of an inconsistent miss across the face, this setup is a great one. I love to refer to it as a fast max because CG is still forward. That's our philosophy, right? That helps you to generate high launch, low spin, but it's doing it with max inertia type properties. And so that's giving you all the forgiveness you need, that speed and stability combo.
Love it. So a seemingly small change on the dial, but with some big implications. We've kept the GTS2, same 9-degree head, same golf shaft, and we've gone for the 11 gram from the front and up to the back. We've moved a net of 6 grams weight from front to the back of the driver.
Yep, that gives about a 2.5 millimeter shift. And so whether or not that matters to golfers, probably not.
It matters to me. I was always wondering how much it moves. So 6 grams, 2.5 millimeters, it's
Yep,
not a lot, but it makes a big difference.
But it's a big difference.
Ooh. All right.
So that cut held in there.
I like that. I mean, that's not even a miss for me. That's just down the right edge of the fairway.
Yep.
Did we see a little more RPMs on that one, Steph?
Yep, spun at 30, or just over 3,000, so.
Perfect. I mean, I don't mind seeing 3,000 on a cut for
And
me.
that was a little bit of like a heel cut,
it was,
right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Perfect. I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we shift that weight back, the 2 millimeters goes back in the head, and it basically through the swing is trying to hold the driver down and back a little bit.
Correct. It adds that dynamic loft and spin to the impact.
Yep.
Oh, beauty.
Love that flight.
Yeah. It was a little high face, but that was real good. Launch was up about 2 degrees there. Spin just under 2,000. So coming up the face, obviously spin's going to come down a little bit, but because of the MOI, it held there. So good ball flight.
It was
a little tumbler.
It was straight and
Yes.
long.
That had no curvature on it.
And this is a good example. I don't hit the middle of the face very often.
I mean, we're all amateurs, right?
But this is putting up with everything that I'm throwing at it. Again,
pretty.
high toe.
Yeah, but even that, it held in, didn't overcut.
So this is an interesting segue for me because I suffer with that golf shot that goes to the right. That's my real bad one generally.
Yeah.
I always like to think that having more forward CG helps me want to turn it over. Is that what we've got the ability to do?
Well, let's take a look and see, because we do see that there are very player dependent reactions to CG depth, which is part of the reason why we offer different CG depths within the models. So not only does it help us to control launch and spin, but it's a timing mechanism for players. I've seen players that you move the CG further back and it tends to lead to more dynamic face closure and it can go left. But I've also seen the opposite, where when they feel that CG further back there, it actually leads to them holding the face open and more of a right ball flight. So that's why it's really important to go and be fit and to experience all of this technology and see what exactly is the right setting for me.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So do you mind if we go to the 3
No,
just
absolutely.
to see? So we'll move that center of gravity forward and see how your response and your dispersion is, because if anything with the 2, we did see that it was probably a little bit more of the right tendency for you.
So GTS3, how much of a change are we expecting from players that have been a GT3 player?
Obviously, because it's globally our most played driver on tour, you know, JJ, he tends to come in, and JJ's our senior director of our PGA Tour. He tends to come in and he says, everyone loves everything about GT3. Would you mind not changing anything but making it faster and more stable? So to that point of that, we got a tough job on our hands. Yeah. But what's very exciting about GTS3 is the fact that we have been able to refine the head shape for aerodynamic club head speed. So all golfers are going to see speed just straight out of the gate. We've also implemented our speed sync face, which is our second generation of essentially the speed ring, but what it is allowing us to do is expand the sweet spot up the face. So if you're a player that tends to miss it up the face, and I like to say a lot of players are that, if you look at the geometry of the face in general, obviously there's more hittable area above face center than below face center.
Yep.
And so anything that we could do to make it more forgiving up here, that's what we sought to do with GTS, and we've been able to achieve it with Speed Sync. And then you've also got the fact that we've been able to take that thermoformed aft body and split the mass out more. And in doing that, the MOI is significantly higher than we were in GT3. So it's everything that you would have loved about GT3, but boosted. So it's faster and it's more forgiving.
And I've always felt like I'm somewhere between the GT2 and GT3, in this case GTS2 and 3. I need a little bit of the 2 in terms of forgiveness, but I want to look at the 3.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year.
Well, let's check it out and see what you think.
Okay. And I've got a bit of a techie question for you. So
Yep.
we talked about moving the net of 6 grams around in the GTS2 from front to back, and that's obviously a great distance that you're moving it, a few inches from front to back. When we're moving this front weight in the track system, and let's move it to one of the extremes, how much are we moving the CG?
Yeah, so the total range that we have is 1.5 millimeters. So we look at CG in that progression as fine tuning. And it's really there so that we can allow you to align center of gravity with your impact location. If you have a consistent impact location, that's gonna help free you up and gain speed out of that. We can also use it to affect right to left and gear effect side spin and dispersion control. So those are kind of the two main levers we pull in terms of being able to manipulate that CG depth. And we ran hundreds of tests to essentially say, we don't need more than this. And so in the spirit of that, we're trying to be as direct of what does the player truly need. You don't need 4 millimeters of CGX movement and heel to toe. 1.5 really covers 98% of all the golfer's needs.
Love it, perfect. Now this is GTS3, we've got the 5 gram in the back, the 8 gram in the front. The front is set into neutral, same shaft as we had in the GTS2, A1 set in 9 degrees. Very, very different looking at a dress. I mean, I love, again, to see the face, but now all of a sudden I see the driver come up at me a little bit. It's a taller profile and it's seemingly a little shallower, but it looks like a 3 that I've always wanted to play. Ooh.
That's nice.
Yeah. Different sound.
A little bit different. So because of the different technologies in the head, with the fact that it has that SureFit CG track up front, that acts as a little bit of a dampener to the acoustic. So it's a little bit more of a muted quality, but still in that same kind of appealing frequency that you like to hear. 13, so your launch was up a little bit there, 1900 RPMs of spin, so we're on the low spin side. So this back setting might be an interesting one once we get to it, but let's give it a few more swings.
And you would definitely say, generally speaking, the GTS3 is aimed at a little bit lower spinning player than the
It
is,
2? Yep, exactly. That they're differentiated in that way from a model perspective.
Oh, that was a miss.
Okay.
But
I'm the queen of the drop kick, so you know.
it's a similar line to the GTS2, even though.
So that was a miss, and your ball speed only dropped about 1 mile an hour.
Love that.
So that's huge. That's the benefit of that speed sync. With that drop kick, I think your impact moved up the face, right?
High and
and
toe.
So that high impact protection, really good there.
I've got the drop kick, but it's on the golf course.
Yeah, all of those are in the fairway, Jack. You have no
crazy.
concerns there, right?
I know. It's like that. I didn't love the strike, but I'm on the course again. That's
Exactly. We missed spin there, but
okay, it's all right.
yeah.
I'm interested to see what the back weight does in this, because this is a new world for GT3.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, having all of this discretionary mass gave us the opportunity to add more personalization in spin performance than we've ever had before. So in the 3, I like to say it was born somewhat out of what we've been doing on tour, and that with GT3, we had intentionally taken GT3 to a lower spinning place than we had with TSR3 because we knew it would benefit the majority of the 3 golfers. But when you look at the tour player, the main thing with tour is that they are the most optimal fit players in the world already. And so for some of them, we found that it was a borderline a little bit low spin. Our tour teams globally have been using internal weighting essentially to be able to move that CG back. Well, when we went to this construction, one of the things I looked at with our design engineers was, do we have the capability to give them that on the tee, such that no longer do they have to burn ahead to just experiment and see if it's a better thing? Now we can drop the track weight down to a 4 gram. We can increase the back weight to 9 gram. So essentially you're moving 4 grams to the back of the head. It moves it almost 2 millimeters back, and that just gives a little bit of that spin protection that we were talking about and a little higher MOI as well. So I like to refer to that setup as a tour high spin setup, just because it's really born out of that conversation and that feedback.
So as Stephanie said, we have got the 9 gram in the back here and the 4 up front. So we've got the same total head weight, but we've got that more weight placement in the rear of the driver. GTS3, 9 degree, same shaft and hosel setting. It's a little heely, but very forgiving.
Yeah, that was very solid sounding too.
I think this is the best sounding combination I've had so far.
Ooh, uptick in speed there. Even though you said it was a little heely, that was one of your faster ball speeds. We were at just under 161, 12.9, 23.28. So that brings you right into that perfect spot from a launch and spin perspective at your speed. Really nice.
Yeah, I always struggle with that low spin, and I think like this.
That was beautiful.
Really offers something new. And that is my normal bad shot, honestly.
Okay.
That still wasn't too bad. It was 20 yards
Yeah,
right of what I'd like.
and that one, you know, that's your cut. That on the 2 we saw it spin up around like 3,300. That one we're at like 2863. So that's the beauty of this higher MOI in all of these models, that it brings that spin stability a lot tighter, which ultimately means that you're going to hit longer drives more often and also straighter drives more often too.
2800 on the fade like that with great launch, and ball speed was high on that shot.
Do you like the way that this feels like it's coming through impact? Is there anything you'd want to change about it?
I mean, obviously I would like to have the face be closing more through impact. You know, I'd like to see it square.
Do you want to try something?
Yeah.
All right. When we manipulate to this tour high spin setting, and it does reduce the amount of CG throw that we have heel to toe because we've lightened up that front weight. So I'm actually going to take you and move it all the way over into the heel setting, and I just want to see if that has any impact in terms of gear effect side spin for you or face closure.
Yeah, I'll take either.
All right, let's give it a go. So that one's set up in the same hosel setting, but we just moved that CG over into H2.
Well, it didn't feel wildly different. You know, it felt like it's still my swing. Like,
it was nice from a spin perspective. That was your fastest speed by far there.
okay,
Look at that, we're at 164.
And 2600 RPMs on that cut for me is unheard of.
Yeah, that's really, that's a lot of control in terms of the ball not overcutting and giving you downrange distance with it.
That's a shot I'd like to hit with it.
Pretty.
That felt really good.
Where was that strike on the face?
Maybe a hair heel.
Look at that ball speed.
Oh.
Like, so the impact of being able to align CG with your impact, we've seen the uptick in ball speed almost 4 miles an hour because of it.
That's probably the highest ball speed of the day, I would say.
Yeah, and that one, you know, it was a heel strike, so spin crept up to 3,000, but we've seen all of your spins with this back-weighted GTS3 be like 2,300 to 3,000 max. That's really powerful in terms of, you know, the dispersion across the face and being able to have that downrange distance and spin consistency.
It's definitely faster than I would normally get, 100%. I'd never get that out of a, you know, a miss hit.
And that's the beauty of having all of these levers that we can pull and customize it just for your needs.
What is next on the docket?
How about we give the 4 a go?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really excited about this 4. You know, the 4, as you mentioned, it's been a little bit of a niche product within the lineup. We know that there are golfers that need spin reduction. As you set this down, does anything look familiar to you, or does the shape look comfortable to you?
Totally.
So
doesn't look too dissimilar from the last product.
So the basis of this driver shape was that we said, all right, we want to make it bigger. We want to make a more forgiving 4, essentially the most forgiving 4 we've ever made and the most adjustable 4 that we've ever made. So the shape platform that we chose to build off from was TSI3. And so TSI3 is a driver that we've had a lot of positive feedback over the years from our tour staff as well as global fitting networks and partners. And the TSI3 shape actually allows us, because it has a lower plank sole, to still achieve that ultra low spin performance. And when you pair that with the thermoformed aft body, we have so much mass at our discretion to hit that low forward CG that some players really need in terms of they're gonna achieve their max distance by controlling their spin. But now we can do it in that standard setup. It's essentially as forgiving as GT3 was. So no longer does a player have to say, well, I choose distance or accuracy. You can have both. And that's what GTS4 will deliver for that player that needs spin reduction. So I like to call it the forgiving 4. So let's give it a few swings and see what you think.
Well, the other addition obviously is we now have the track weight on the 4 that we never had before.
Correct. So in the spirit of how do we make this product the best version of a 4 that we can, having the mass available to us allowed us to bring new fitting technologies. As CG moves more forward, it can affect dynamic face closure, and so having CG heel toe where we can align your CG with your impact becomes an even more powerful tool.
Yeah, I love it. This thing looks great. No longer do I look down and feel intimidated over that 4. It's not small. Like you say, it looks really similar to your TSI. Even the GTS3, it's got similar shape in taller head.
Right, profile should look very similar to GTS3, but it's just sits and hugs the ground a little bit more in the back.
That's a good miss. So is that not as aerodynamic, or is it just different spin characteristics?
So interestingly enough, it's equivalent to where our GT4 was while we've grown the footprint. So it is not, you would say, relative to the 3 and the 2, our most aerodynamic head shape. But if you're a player that needs spin reduction, giving back half mile an hour in aerodynamics to be able to achieve the spin will ultimately lead to longer drives for you more often.
Yeah.
It's a little flatter ball flight there, you see?
Yep.
So this model being the lowest spinning in the line, we'll see that. Wow, look at that ball speed though. You cranked that one.
Oh.
Fastest, 167.
I never get that.
Yeah, but you could see that it was flat. So
Yeah.
we launched it a couple of degrees lower, 1900 RPMs a spin, but your total went up 10 yards there.
Well, that ball speed's incredible. I mean, not that I want to discount this, but I feel like we should go straight into what I looks like I need immediately.
Yeah, would you like to?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so let's go, because we have dual weighting now in this model as well, just the same fitting capabilities as we have in the 3, we can back weight a 4 as well. So if you're a player that, you know, needs a little bit more height and trajectory out of a 4, we can do that and we can add it for you.
I just think, you know, seeing that, so for everyone at home that's launching at 10, spinning at 1900 RPMs with awesome ball speed, I just need to pick that flight up and
Correct.
help me carry it, help me control it a bit more.
Love it. Let's give it a go.
And in the same vein as the GTS3, we've got the 9 in the back and the 4 in the front. So same head weight, just repositioned.
Exactly. And because of the way that the shape is on GTS4, that back weighted 4 is still a lower spin than that forward weighted GTS3. So that's the beauty of all of these models, is that they line up, but there's no overlap in those standards.
It's
so it gives us a huge spectrum of fitting capability. Woo!
I don't know, just I look down at this, I feel confident.
Look at that. We're cranking now, Jack. 167.112, little low spin.
That was a little high in the face,
Okay.
so I'll put that on me.
Okay. But
And we've only got
honestly,
the 9 degree.
It did not look it. So that was nice.
It's a 9 degree model.
Yep. And
So
do you typically play a little bit more loft?
no, but generally I do play a 9,
Okay.
but
But this is our lowest spinning head.
Right.
So we have the capability to perhaps back weight and take you up in loft in this head, and which ultimately is going to lead to longer carry distance and more optimized total distance because of that.
yeah, and it feels comfortable. It looks comfortable. I mean, this is an exciting product. I think this one at home, like you said, it's like you have the blank slate. This is to start fresh. Don't think of this like anything like a 4 product that you've had before. Just go in with a clean thought.
Yeah, no, it still needs to fit that spot of being low spin for those players, but with the loft options that we have available, with the CG fitting capability, this model has got a whole new lease on life.
I like it. I love it. That was my toe miss.
Yeah, look at it hang though in there.
Love
Not
that.
over curving, still a fairway found. And that one, your ball speed was still 163. So another thing I'm noticing is just as we've moved from the most deep CG in the line to the most forward, your speeds have gone up. And so what that tells me is that that center of gravity position times more effectively for you to find center face more often, and it's unlocking that gear for you. So that one has a toe miss, 1700 hung in there, still 305 total, really good. The downrange distance consistency, I mean, the last 3 were 305, 316, and 310. So that's fun, right?
This is really fun. This is an awesome drive. I want to hit this one more time. I'd love to see that 170 number. I feel like that was my goal coming out here today.
Put all of your TPI work in, right? Nice. Well, high face, but beauty.
Yeah, I don't mind that shape. A little pushy.
Look at that. I think where you mentioned to me that, you know, we could probably look at going up in loft here, and I think it'd be a hugely beneficial fit for you.
Yeah.
And we'd end up in an even longer distance potential. That one still total was 304. So the distance consistency there, everything is within 10 yards.
I love that.
That's huge.
And it really does highlight what you've done to make this a low spin model. These are too low spin for me. I need that loft to get me back.
Exactly.
And you said like the GT2 was a little high and a little spinny on some shots. The 3 was maybe a little low, and having all these options is the key. It's like you shouldn't go and get this off the rack and think that's for me.
Well, it's the most complete line we've ever brought to market with GTS, and I truly do believe that we have a driver for everyone within these lines. And so it is, you know, best obviously when you can go and see a fitter and experience all of the technology and go through it and really evaluate what's going to be the best option for me to personalize the performance.
For me to test all of them, I've had to hit, you know, 6 combinations and that hasn't even counted in the loft. We didn't use every weight track position.
Nope.
We barely touched the SureFit hosel, so we really scratched the surface for everyone at home. Awesome job on the technology. You've demonstrated it in real time for us. I'm excited for everyone out there who's looking forward to playing Titleist this year. They've got more options than ever before. It looks like they've got more speed and stability than ever before. Thank you so much for all you do for the golf industry.
Yeah, well, we're really proud to try to help golfers enjoy this game more and play better golf.
Well, there you have it, all of the deep technical information you needed to know about the GTS products for this year. What it says to me is that there's at least 6 options, not even counting all of the adjustability in the SureFit hosel and the weight track system on the 4 and the 3. It just tells me you absolutely need to get fit for your GTS products this year. If you want to see which driver I fit into, head to the channel and watch my fitting video on the GTS drivers. I can't wait to find out which model is going to be absolutely perfect for me. If you are interested in the Titleist GTS products, head online to worldwidegolf.com and book your fitting, or head to a Worldwide Golf retail location and check out GTS drivers today.